Yeah, welcome to the show, everyone. Welcome back to Friday Fandemonium. Last week I had having technical difficulties in real life with. I'll probably drop the story at some point during this stream because it's crazy, but it didn't really end until Monday. But audio check is good. You can hear the repeat there. We meant like that out. So I will. I don't have any unboxing this week, so I'll get that out of the way. I would have had one last week, but I'll show the item off at 3:05. It's an interesting item. I had some, and got a few articles to go over. I feel I feel a little allergy ridden, so unless I get some questions from the viewers, I'll probably aim for 4 o'clock. My usual 3 to 4:15. But it might not quite be the 1 hour this week. It might be more like 45. We'll see. I get rambly sometimes with this stuff. So 3 o'clock. How do we start? I'll tell you what I've been doing lately. So, my reviews for Shogun. I'm through episode 4. Uh, Masters of the Air. The first 8 episodes of reviews are up. I should say my mini documentaries because they're turning into informational deep dives and stuff. I'm posting links and it's turned into a big project when I do the Masters of the Air, which is cool because I learned that stuff. The stuff I learned about World War II started with, like I said, all the basis of my family involvement in World War II, and then reading up on it when I was a kid and all that sort of stuff. And it's cool to reacquaint myself with some knowledge and even gain a little more depth. So that's pretty interesting. Um, oh, what else? Oh, and I'll be back on top of my Sharp. Probably watching an episode of it tonight, maybe, or tomorrow. I had to go to my Law and Order binge. I got four episodes this week of Law and Order alone. I already watched the FBI 3 episodes. You know, yes, I'm a Law and Order addict. I admit it. It's hard to break the habit, right? I'm a little Christopher Lambert laugh. So 302. Okay, so I'll show off the one item, then we'll get right into the articles. So had I done the show last week, I would have unboxed this, right? This is the authorized biography of J.R.R. Tolkien, written by Humphrey Carpenter and overseen by one of his grandchildren, if I recall correctly. Uh, my only objection to it, it's $10. I should have. I don't know. I mean, it's I don't know if the camera doesn't pick this up, but the quality of the print on this sucks. Okay, it it's a like the it's one of those paperback books where the printing looks smudged. It's visible, but I guess some of it's my glasses too. But anyway, so I can this is the authorized biography of J.R.R. Tolkien. Okay, it was written, I believe. I want to say, well, here. Why don't I put dates in? 2000, yeah, 2000. Okay, I want to do with year 2000. Okay. What else do I got going on? I did my reviews of Avatar. That's all out there. When Masters of the Air finish, I feel 3 season shows is a kind of a good thing to be cruising along with. So I'm not sure what I'll add back in. Maybe I'll do an older TV show. I don't know. We'll see. Okay, it's 303. Let's get into this. I'm sure I can ramble and ramble and ramble. Window. Oh. You know. Oh, because I'm sharing the whole browser window. Yeah. It's interesting. It's interesting the way StreamYard reads this stuff. So, what is this article about? So, if you've watched my video on Dune 2 or Dune Part 1 or 2, um, I enjoyed the movie as a movie from the top 25 science fiction films of all time when taking into account Dune Part 1 and Part 2. But it is at best a 4 out of 10 adaptation. Okay. which is the original. The adaptation '84 was like that, or like a 3 out of 10, and the Sci-Fi Channel was probably a 5 out of 10 in terms of adaptation. But they're all decent quality product or better to watch, So, and case in point, there's a lot of there's so much material in Dune. It's like Lord of the Rings, right? As good as Peter Jackson filmed the theatrical editions, not the extended, which I don't like, were it was a at best poor canon adaptation, right? Because there's just a lot of material in Lord of the Rings or in um, Dune that is difficult to do in a limited movie format. Shogun, for example, has a lot of material in it, right? But they've done both adaptations are long miniseries where you can play out more of the events, right? So obviously that would have been for Dune. And here, in case in point, so this Tim Blake Nelson has a part in Dune Part Two, which is rumored to have been Count Hasimir Fenring, which was the Emperor's best friend and his left-hand man. He was the Emperor's assassin, his political advisor. He's a person the Emperor trusted more than anyone in the world. And he's also a failed candidate for the Kwisatz Haderach, in the sense that he's a eunuch. He's essentially sterile. He's a eunuch, right? Though he's married to a Bene Gesserit, he's incapable of reproducing. But he's biologically, he's as close as Phaedratha was, for example. There's several of that, and was Paul, who was the perfect one who bridged the gap, as it were. Right. So why is that important? It's an example of characters that got edited out because you can't fit everything in a limited movie, and Villeneuve edited out all of the politics, and therefore this character had to disappear because he was politics, and Saddam Carino's role becomes far more limited because his role is what Chris Walken would have been acting. Probably took the role when he would maybe read dudes. Oh, that'd be a great character to play. Was all the detailed political stuff that just got basically removed from Denis Villeneuve's version. He turned it into a sort of revenge action war movie and got rid of the depth of it, as it were. So let's take a look at so let's just glance at a couple things here. I'll highlight this quote and you could read the article. I don't think I'm going to say what that scene was. There's one scene that was cut out. I'll leave that to Denis Villeneuve if he wants to talk about it. I had a great time on the shooting, and then had to cut it because he thought the movie was too long. Heartbroken over that, but there's no hard feelings. I love that. I can't wait to do something else. We're certainly planning to. So Count Fenring would have more than one role had the movie been done correctly, so to speak, in terms of the adaptation. That's all I want. So this is an article that's pointing that out. Let's go next. I have a feeling this is going to be a fairly short show. But then again, you never know. We'll see. In the case of you get what you asked for, everything's being rebooted. Baywatch, which is not even 30 years old. Is it 30 years old now? No, it's 30 years for Baywatch will be like, I think, the next decade. They want to reboot it. Now, and they're going to ruin this show. Like, the first couple seasons was some mindless popcorn, fun type of, check out the hot people if you're a guy or girl, depending on what you like, watch the sort of lighthearted beach adventure with maybe some action, movie scenes or whatever. And now it's going to be people who are ugly, people who are blue-haired weirdos. They're going to have three non-binary trans lifeguards. The one like seemingly regular lifeguard is going to be a secret serial killer. They're gonna go crazy with this, and this is a bunch about basically it's a fictional version of a live action like the Australian lifeguard show where a bunch of attractive people rescue people on a beach. And the first two seasons of Baywatch, that's what made it worthwhile. It's simple, straightforward, fun, And they're gonna ruin it. They're just gonna ruin it. I'm not a big enough Baywatch fan to say it's the worst thing in the world to ruin it, but I'm just tired of everything. It's so predictable with these remakes They come bring them back and they just ruin it. They're just doing it to shit all over the concept, Oh yeah. I'm sorry, guys. I am so tired. My sleep cycle has been blitzed this week. So this is an opinion piece from Bounty in the Comics. And there's a theme you'll notice with what we're following. And the reason Chris Hemsworth keeps picking such terrible roles, in this guy's opinion, is self-declared feminism. Now, the gist of his article, which you can read in depth, is that he's picking a lot of these bad movies to do because he's a feminist and he thinks the goal of these not for the male gaze, blah, 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 deconstructions, he thinks they're good to do because of the ideology. I don't know if I agree with that, all right? I think he's picked movies. Well, for example, he was contractually obligated to do Thor: Love and Thunder. He'd signed like a multi-picture deal, had to do it, right? So he's been in some other films that have been like woke garbage, like Men in Black International and Ghostbusters: Enter the Call. But I think that's more the case of him just being sabotaged, which has his feminist ideology. I don't think he's deliberately choosing horrible films just to satisfy his ideology. I think he's like any actor, he's floundering his way through films because the quality of film to be done is just lower nowadays. So there's that for you. And of course, another example of woke. Tom Brevort is garbage. He's human garbage. He's an editor. He's garbage as an editor. He's been a long-time continuity editor at Marvel. He was the continuity editor during One More Day, Brand New Day, and so forth. And he used to be a comic fan. Used to respect him. The guy had an in-depth knowledge of continuity. But when they started wrecking the characters, he just went along with it instead of saying, no, we got to preserve something because he had influence to do that. And now he apparently is fully in the cult, So the whole nonsense. Young Ripper has proven this, by the way. The nonsense that the X-Men had anything to do with social justice when they were created. The X-Men were created the way they were because Stan Lee was tired of coming up with crazy origins for the superpowers, so he just made them all mutants at an evolutionary state. And a decade later, they saw this as a potential use as allegory for racial discrimination and so forth. But that was, how do you put it? That was an afterthought of it. It was nothing to do with the original reason for the X-Men to exist. And you can read through this article about that. This show is not going to be long, guys, unless something comes up. Because my opinions are going fast and furious, and I'm having trouble concentrating. But let's get to it. So Steven Zandt learns the hard way that physical media is king. We've seen time out with play. I think this happened to PlayStation 5 owners. Crunchyroll, I think, just screwed a bunch of people. And now Apple TV just screwed him over. He... Oh. So, here we go. Here's the quote room. Apple TV lost my 650 movies that I own. Every upgrade on my Apple phone makes it worse. Our entire universe can be hacked on and lost at any moment. The new billionaires have addicted us to a completely new defenseless world. Need to be held accountable. The move is not the point. The point is that how fragile this world is. They're not completely dependent on for everything. I found them on my phone, but they're no longer on Apple TV, which I depend on when I'm on the road, which is 2 weeks away. So he's lucked out. He had a backup of these 650 movies on his phone, But in a glitch, not even an attempt to manually remove content. In a glitch, he lost 650 movies. If you pay $15 a movie, that's like 650 times 15, 1,300 times $15 a movie, 650 movies. That's 150 times 15 times 650, 150 times 65. So 65 times 150 is over $10,000. So that's over $10,000 a dude would have lost, right? It's crazy. And PlayStation 5 took out destroyed a bunch of people's game that they had stored. Another console is basically saying when the console goes, we're going to delete everything. You got to own stuff. You got to buy original material and own stuff. And that'll force them to put out higher quality content on stuff that you have to own for stuff you have to buy. So, but as Nolte explains, sorry, we don't own your digital copies of anything. What happened to Van Zandt is not a bug, it's a feature. You own nothing and like it is the future. We used to buy cars and now we lease them. We used to buy computer programs, now we subscribe to them. We used to have books, blah, 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 and now we subscribe. We subscribe to the radio, we subscribe to apps. And that's the whole point. If you don't own it, you're a slave to it. And if they can take it away from Stephen Van Zandt, who's a famous musician, if you don't know, what do you think they're going to do to you? Yeah, so there's that. And that's Stephen Van Zandt. Okay. And now here's the thing I'm most enthused about. The Fleischman Superman cartoons are a work of art. I'm going to call up... stop sharing. I think I have to check what my resolution my editions are in. Oh man, excuse me. So I have DVD quality. So I'm gonna share. I'll share one out so we can see a few seconds of it. So this is $1 billion limit. I mean, this is just DVD quality. Look how beautiful this artwork is. It's incredible. This was Superman first began flying, and he didn't get the flying power in the comic. He got it in this show. Look at this, how stylized and wonderful it is, right? And so what they're doing here is they're doing a restoration. I'll go back over to the article. So what they're doing here is they're taking the original films, they're going to restore the films, and then scan them in at 4K, and then this is articles a week old, so it's probably been displayed already at the MoMA, the Museum of Modern Art. So I'm hoping that they will put this out on Blu-ray because this is a beautiful, beautiful work. Here, much of the material in Fleischer's cartoons draws from a wealth of new 4K restorations, supervised by Fleischman's granddaughter, Jane Fleischer Reed, many of which will be making their world premieres at the MoMA. So there, you can go through this. Again, hopefully they will sell this. They didn't do this to display it in the MoMA. Hopefully there'll be a commercial product that we can buy because these are beautiful, beautiful animations. And now, from happy to the sad news, I would have talked about this last week, but Sensei Akira Toriyama has passed on. He's made it to King Kai in the afterlife, and he was 68. He's in the age, once you're a man and you make 65 years old, you're on a countdown. You're either going to die between 65 and 70, or you're going to die sometime after your mid-70s. There's just a countdown of death that happens when you're a dude. It's women too, but it's a little staggered a little differently, right? And it's sad that Sensei Toriyama has passed on. We're all thankful for his contributions, obviously with Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z and all that. He's written a few other mangas, and he's always, as far as I know, he's always been accessible to fan questions or whatever. And we're very grateful for his capturing his work. I always recommend people go rewatch the original Dragon Ball and or read the original Dragon Ball manga. Z, that's you can take it for what it's worth, basically. If you really get into the setting, you can go read or watch that. But really, if you're a Jinchuriki, right? The two things I'll be doing. Whoa, my brain just leapt, did a vast leap of logic. Uh, oh man, this shows you how tired I am. Okay, so since Toriyama has passed on, I encourage people to go and watch and watch the Dragon Ball and read Dragon Ball, which is the best of all of them. Dragon Ball Z's first two arcs through the Saiyan saga were really good too. Not almost as good as Dragon Ball, but Dragon Ball was special. And there you go. And here's my pre-selected science article for the week. Man, I got your article so fast here. So nuclear explosions in space are different from nuclear explosions in an atmosphere. And the chief difference has to do with the fact that when you're inside an atmosphere, right, the energy hits the air and gets transformed into heat and concussive force. Whereas in a vacuum, the energy is released basically as light, gamma rays, X rays, and a small percentage of visible light. There's nothing to transform energy into anything of a material effect. So it has a different sort of explosion. And they thought they had these calculations down 50 years, and then a scientist discovered they were wrong. And, you know. Okay, so according to Greg Cunningham, a space scientist with Los Alamos National Lab, the discovery resolution long-standing errors in past mathematical calculations will offer scientists an opportunity to improve protection of space technologies, particularly involving models governing the effect of radiation through the device. And you can read through the whole article here, but nuclear explosions in space are a fascinating topic for me. You know. So those are my preset articles, and they're all linked down in the description below. I'll do my 3 article random, and then we'll call it at 3:30. I'm just overtired, guys, and my allergies and the allergy meds. If I get some questions, notification thing popping up there. Nope, no one. So let's look for. Close some of these down. And let's look for a random article or 2 or 3. Let's go to Bleeding Cool. Nothing happened out there. I did find out that this season of Blue Bloods, which is the Tom Selleck police procedural on CBS, is the last season of Blue Bloods. It's been a really good show for a long time, and I guess we're ending on a high note. So great, better end on a high note than be canceled. Yeah, so I know I've been having some internet problems. I thought they cleared up. Anyway. Nothing there. That bloody disgusting. This Crow remake looks horrible. Hopefully it won't be, but it looks horrible. Let's see. No. Oh, it's banning in the comics. Let's do Dark Horizons. Uh, the Fall Guy early reviews are in. Let's see what this potential affront to my childhood. Oh, it's gushing. That means it's going to be bad, probably. Don't want to know anymore. Okay. Okay, so the upcoming prequel, this is about The Omen. The first Omen will set the stage for the event seen in the original 1976 The Omen. But fans think they know everything about the new film. Star Nigel Tiger Free has been doing all the research into rumors, blah, blah. So this is about how Damien was conceived, I guess. So the Omen trilogy is probably the best horror trilogy of all time. And it's a great series of movies. I hate when they revisit this sort of stuff because they tend to make it worse, not better. Uh, Empire. Fandom Pulse. Fandom Wire. Yeah, nothing. Uh, Film. So the Tyrant. Okay, so that's pretty much it, guys. I mean, yeah, 3:30. I mean, it's half an hour. 3:30. Um, can I do a fan film recommendation on short notice like this? No, because I need to get those Harry Dresden films together. There's a couple of good Star Trek films I've seen over the years. Not Star Trek, Star Wars films. Fan films. I want to point out if I can find them again. Um, yeah, so that's that. If there are any questions out there, otherwise I think I'm gonna call it. I'm sorry, guys. I'm just drained this week, and you can hear my voice. It's just I don't know why. I'm just really tired. So what's coming up will be my Friday stream next week, which hopefully I'll be more energy. It'll be better. I mean, I might have my big ship of the comics that's just been charged to my bank account 4 days ago, so that should be here by then. And yep. Anyway, my name is Matt. I know it's been a short Friday afternoon Fandemonium, so I kind of entertain you for the hour that I usually do. Like if you like, dislike if you dislike, comment down below, share this out there. Thanks for joining me. Have a great weekend.